Hello everyone, welcome to Thursday night. We are back in Starbound. So tonight I thought we would finish up our survival mode checklist playthrough. Try out a few things. I think we're going to fix a couple things in our house. We're going to harvest some plants here. And then we'll try to finish the starting planet and just kind of see what it takes to do that. So that's our goal. So let's start off by cleaning out our plants. You will notice that it is raining. So that is awesome. And so we have, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are harvestable. Got our tomatoes and our wheat. And we'll look into our inventory, find out what we picked up. Got our wheat seeds back. Still have some cotton seed. So let's go ahead and plant our wheat. Slip them right back in the same spot that they were. Alright, so last time we just threw the bed down here because we had no other place to put it, but I thought this time I would go ahead and try to clean up our house a little bit. So I am going to cut a hole in my roof. Actually, can I make that jump? Yeah, we'll start out here. So what we're going to do is put a second story on our house here. Find our timber blocks, move them up here. Nice to have them on there. And then we will hold the shift key down. 2, 3, 5, 6. Should be the same height that we are downstairs. 1, 6. We're not going to worry about doors on this story. Since it's just going to be for storage. Alright. We'll clean off our porch last time. Being careful not to destroy our torches. Remember, we can pick our bed back up. And if we right click, pick up our background blocks as well. Nice part is these are all reusable. We haven't wasted anything. And that's one of the kind of the, I think, fun parts of games like this. Good evening, Whittister. Good to have you aboard. Is that really most of the stuff isn't permanent. You know, so we built this one version and now we can change it. And it doesn't really destroy anything. So I'm going to try to get, yeah, we had a good week on subs, Whittister. We went from 40 to 70, and hopefully if that trend continues we will get up to our needed 100 and we can get our custom URL, which is really what I'm trying to get to. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this stuff down here anyway. So and so this is true of even these items, right? Like I don't have to worry about placing these things down and then being like, oh man, I don't want to craft another furnace, because I can just pick them up and then drop them back down. So what I'm thinking on this one, I'm thinking the URL just be Deconstruction Gaming, so youtube.com/Deconstruction Gaming. But it beats whatever it is now, which is a random string of characters that they start every channel with. So you wouldn't necessarily have to put backgrounds and all that kind of stuff in, but I like to, so go ahead and do that. Yeah, it just makes it easier to type. You know, it's easier to remember that than the random string. So if you tell somebody, hey, go check this channel out, they can just check it out that way, as opposed to having to search for it or go and find the random thing. Ran out of timber. Make some more. Obviously, if you were either in a hurry or didn't have the timber, you could go ahead and just make this out of dirt as well. It works just fine. It doesn't look as nice, but probably okay. But I like my house to look nice. Alright, we'll cut ourselves a couple windows just like we did downstairs. There, and a window there. If you really get crazy, I could put a roof on it and make a nice sloped roof, and we're not going to go quite that far. But we will throw a couple of torches in here. Have any torches left? Might have used up all of our torches. Alright, so we'll go to our crafting menu. Torches are pretty easy to make, they just take coal and log. Sun's coming up, that's definitely nice. You'll notice that this is a rainy planet, so I don't have to water my food out there. The rain will... Alright, stick a torch there. Stick a torch there. Don't really have a good center. One there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean up my bottom floor here, because it got a little messy. And I'll pop up here. Now that we've got all it face that way, kind of faces the wall, doesn't look that good. The stations will face depending on which way your character has last moved. You notice if I move this way it turns. You can actually have a little bit of control on what these look like, so we'll put that there. It looks a little bit better. What do we got? Foraging. Let's put our furnace next to that. Kind of covered up our window. That's okay. Our spinning wheel. Again, turn this so it faces the way we want it to. So we've kind of built ourselves a little crafting area. Downstairs we will go ahead and put, let's pick up our campfire there. And just to make it look a little bit nice, we will put a chair there, chair there. Oh, beautiful. That chair's a little close. We don't want to burn our feet. Do want to be careful. See if that interferes with our door. Should be fine. So, what I'm thinking in this live stream is we got our food production going. We have some decent food here. Before I leave, I'll go ahead and cook up these ingredients into some food. And then we all still have, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put my canned food, or 3 of my canned foods in there. We'll keep one as an emergency. I'm gonna ditch my watering can, so I don't need that. Put it in here. Put our upgrade module in there. That stuff we'll keep. Probably sell that. I can't remember if this planet has a vendor or not. Keep those blocks for now. Alright, we have our tent and our sleeping bag. Remember our tent, we still lose hunger, so let's go ahead and store that, and we'll keep the sleeping bag. Got a whole bunch of saplings if we wanted to craft more trees. Our food situation is looking okay. Alright, so before we leave here, let's cook up our tomatoes. Again, goes from an item that will only give you 2.5 food to 10 food, so definitely worth cooking. Alright, before we leave, we'll pop back over here. Okay, so we checked here. I think that's our sugar cane, which won't necessarily directly feed us, but that's alright. And then we will plant our sugar cane back down. See anything else that has matured? These are either really long growing or we made them too crowded. Just to kind of be sure here, let's make a slight change to our safety here. Grab some dirt. Dirt wall there. Go ahead and clean this out. And they could probably get over that wall, so what we're gonna do is come over here. A themselves a hole, fall down into it if they try to get. Alright, we should be pretty safe. Okay, so you notice our wheat grew. I'm going to leave that like that just so we can show how the watering happens through rain. Okay, I think we're ready to go adventuring. We've got some food and we're going to head over this way. Now on this particular planet we were pretty lucky that we got the this kind of adventure area spawns on all the starter planets. And it actually hit pretty close to our home base, so that's kind of nice. Already hungry. Okay, so the blurry is cleaned up. All right. Hold on, I'm gonna fix my chat so I can see it better. Got all highlighted when I switched over. Might have just been stream quality. Hoping to, Widister. This weekend I'm hoping to build a Starbound video on resolutions and one on my 5 favorite hotkeys, and I had a third one that I was working on. I'll have to go back and look and see what the third. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we cleared off our surface level stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is check all these crates. Fight these guys. And then we're going to talk to this guy. Alright, nothing going there. Okay, so now is where you decide what kind of player you are. Are you cautious, or do you throw caution to the wind? As we go down, things are definitely going to get more. Oh, that one reminds me. So you'll notice I just picked up my matter manipulator upgrade there. The other video that I was working on last night, I've got all the data in Excel built, is what should your upgrade path be, right? A matter manipulator, if you look at it, can be upgraded in 4 categories. It can be upgraded in power generation, how many squares it opens up, and I've got a whole bunch of data that I've collected that basically says, based on the number of upgrade modules, like this takes 8 and this takes 12, this takes 24 more, that takes 48, that takes 16, that takes 32. What's your best bang for your buck, right? Like if you upgrade the power, do you eat through blocks faster? Or if you upgrade the size, do you go through blocks faster? So I've got a video, I've done all the research on it, I've just got to make the video on that. We'll talk about different strategies for that. Okay, so since we are going underground here, we do want to look and make sure we have light. Now, one of 2 things are going to happen. One of the earliest lights you can get that you don't have to hold, so like a flashlight or things like that, is called the lantern on a stick. Oh, here was the experiment I wanted to do. So, right here we see a lantern, right? I'm going to go ahead and steal that lantern. We ruined the light in the area, but let's go ahead and throw a torch down in its place. I was thinking about this before this video was shot. Before I was going to run this video. And oil is needed to craft a lantern. You're probably not going to find oil on the starter planet. It's really common in deserts. But the question I have here is, if I find a lantern, much like I just did, that's the only part that takes oil. The stick part takes lumber and logs. So we're going to come here to our forager table, and we are going to look and see light. See, like, so there, my explorer's lantern is iron bar, oil, and a torch. My lantern on a stick, okay, so that's not gonna work. So I wondered if I could use a found lantern in that spot. So That does make that a little unobtainable on the starter planet. You're probably not going to find oil. And even if you did find oil, you would have to upgrade with 3 of these manipulators to actually collect the liquid. If we do find oil, we will give it a try. The nice part about the lantern on a stick is it is slottable onto your back, which means you'll have light and not have to hold it, right? So up here we have to hold our flashlight, or we have to put down our lanterns or our torches and stuff like that. I was kind of hoping that would work, but I couldn't remember. Alright, down we go. Okay, so our quest here is actually to find these items here, these core fragments. If you go down deep enough into the world, you can actually find them and mine them. But if you explore this dungeon, you can, for the most part, find enough to get through it. So we're just gonna... Alright, there's our 3rd manipulator. So if we had to craft, we could... Or we could upgrade our matter manipulator to collect liquids. But then we're not upgrading it to actually give us more power. So it's a decision you have to make. Alright. So we've been over here, so I'm probably not going to go much farther. I'm going to place a lantern there just to show myself that I'm here. I guess we could go over there. The other thing we want to keep our eyes open for is iron. Just in case we find oil, we want to have enough iron to build our lantern on a stick. Later on, you actually get you can get light EPP, stuff like that. There's potions you can get that actually will glow. There's different ways to get light. Alright, let's get through this combat. And we should probably heal ourselves. Alright, get ourselves some light. Oh, cool, we got chicken. That'll be good for feeding. Nice that the bats give you chicken. Oh, there's some iron ore. Anything else? Doesn't look like where that is. Coal, 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 copper. That's probably iron ore there. I'm not 100% sure what that is over there. Alright, now I'm just curious. This is probably one of the more painful parts. So when I do the matter manipulator video, one of the things that is worth talking about is it's not just about the speed that your blocks open up, right? If I have a 4x4 matter manipulator, I can just hold it down and run, and I don't have to go up and down, so I can actually cut through a little bit quicker. So I'm moving the mouse less. That's another consideration. I'm looking forward to that video. I put a lot of calculations into that one to try to figure stuff out. You went and looked up my horrible URL. That's true of all... That's silver. Okay. That's true of all YouTube channels when they first start out. You know, we're just in our first month, so 100 subscribers is where you get your custom URL. Alright, let's see what's down this way. More doors if we wanted to steal them for our house. Not gonna. I'm happy with our house. Alright, let's get some light. We're hungry again. So let's go ahead and cook ourselves some chicken. Pick up a chicken. I thought we did. We did not. Alright. I thought we killed a bat and got a chicken up here. Okay, something else that I wanted to address last time that I didn't get to, we're going to address now, is I think one of the probably, at least when I first started playing, the things I forgot about or neglected, that is the flag. Love the flag. We're gonna go craft ourselves a flag and we'll look at what. So there might be times that you get down into a dungeon, and on survival mode you have to have a clear view of the sky to teleport. So if you watch over here, you notice my beam up button goes away when I go through the into the house. That also means if you get too deep, that can be a problem, right? You won't be able to teleport out. But if I pop up here, you'll notice just in my base crafting, there's this thing called the flag. It'll be named after whatever race you are. To make this, I need a copper bar and I need woven fabric. Let's check our copper supply. I think we can make some copper bars, so I'll make a couple of those. And woven fabric's actually easy to make. It's over here. It's just plant fiber, and it looks like it takes 4 for each fabric. I think it said we needed 20. So let's craft. Selected it. We'll craft 20 of these. So what is the flag? In this case, the Florian flag. The flag is an item that you can put down. You can give it a name, and if you have one, so let's go ahead and craft one here. All right, so you'll notice he says, I'm able to reconfigure the ship's teleporter to teleport directly to the location marked by this flag. Place and interact with the flag to establish a name. Alright, so just as a test, what we're going to do is we're going to come out here. We will plop down our flag. If I interact with it, I can give it a name. Call this one home. Alright, so here's the cool thing about it. So let's say I'm deep down into a dungeon and I run out of food. Right? I either have to try to run out of the dungeon or if I die. But if I can get back to my ship, I can come up here. I can deal with whatever I need to deal with. Then if I get back into my teleporter, you'll notice that this home is now set. And that'll beam me back to that flag. Now I can't beam out of the flag, but I can beam to it. The nice part is much like everything, I can pick it up. While we're here, let's check our food. Much better. Let's harvest some food. I think we got it all. Oh, some pearl peas. Alright. So now, if we kind of hit our fire, let's go ahead and cook ourselves up some food. Got our potato, pearl peas, rice, more tomatoes. Those tomatoes grow fast. Some popcorn. Like I said before, you'll notice that because we're on a rainy planet, it's continually watering my plants, so I don't have to worry about that. Alright. Now we're armed with a flag. There is a trick. Let me see if I can remember how to do it. So let's say we get under here. If you get too deep, this won't work. But if we come over here, you'll notice as we get in front of the windows, if you have an open spot to the external world, you'll notice that my teleporter comes back up, right? So if I walk over here, it goes away. So if you're really desperate, right, and you're in an adventuring, let's say I'm here, what I can do is I can just right click, cut myself a hole in the world, and now I can use my teleporter to beam out if I really get myself in trouble. Alright, on with our adventure. So our goal tonight is just to see if we can finish the starter planet without dying too terribly much. Alright, so our torches tell us that we've been there. We're going to work our way this direction, which is kind of where we were when we went on that food run slash human flag run, or flag run. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of rearranging here. I'm going to put there, that way it's easier to get to. As I plop them down. Oh, that's a dead end. That's fun anyway. Time to eat. Now we have plenty of food. It looks like it all has about a 3-hour timer. I don't see any that are horribly bad, so go ahead and fill ourselves up here. Okay, this looks scary. Nope, dead end. I could cut my way through there if I wanted to. Did you hear that? There's a ranged character down there. There's some light. So he's a ranged character. But I don't see anything down there that I really need, so we're going to ignore them. Move on. Alright, so we've kind of explored this side of the dungeon. And now we're going to go to the other side. Again, my torches kind of tell me where I've been and where I haven't, so you'll notice this side is pretty quiet. Drop a torch, that way we know we've been here. Oh, look at those bats. Oh. They were waiting for us. That was like an ambush. They were not messing around. What we got there? A two-handed spear. Always like to try out a new weapon, see if I like it better. Throw it over here. Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay, so this kind of gives us a bit of a new mechanic that we haven't done a ton with. It's a ranged attack, which can definitely be nice. You'll notice that it uses up my energy bar as I hold down the right mouse button. It's got a pretty quick main attack. That's not horrible, but it is two-handed. Another manipulator. I must admit, the kind of gamer that I am, I have almost as much fun just exploring these dungeons and looting the crates as I do playing the game. Here's another new item. Upgrade module. If you haven't played the game before, upgrade modules are used to upgrade your ship eventually. So those are definitely worth collecting as well. Alright, moving forward. It does damage, but you have to get ahead of it a bit. Otherwise you end up getting yourself killed. Alright, let's drop ourselves another torch. Kind of tells us that we've been there. That's another strategy you can use. You can turn, if there's existing lights in the world, you can turn those on and off to signify if you've been somewhere. Alright, we'll torch our way this way. Let's go back to this range and see how good it is. You'll notice that it does a decent amount of damage. I believe it poisoned them. Is it poison? I can't tell. Still not as strong as our starter sword though. Too bad. That was... Ooh, another sword. Oh, a short sword. Let's see how this compares to our hammer. As I mentioned last time, I do have a mod installed that gives more weapon stats, which is a little bit faster, less damage per swing. The nice part about this though is you can hit immediately. You don't have to have that big long wind up. Oh, that's interesting. It has a secondary attack too, and it's one-handed. Oh, nope, sorry, I'm on the wrong weapon. There we go. So I get a nice quick attack there, and I can actually see what I'm doing. Hey, an oboe! There is a collection. You'll notice down here, oboe added to instruments collection. If it is something you're interested in, If you want to collect somewhere in here, there it is, instruments. You can collect all the different instruments. So there you'll see oboe is lit up. As I always like to note, this is also a mod that has changed my inventory, so it might look a little bit. Alright. Ooh, what do we got here? Another one-handed axe. Alright, we're starting to get a little deep now, so let's do a little test when we get down. So you will notice that cut away our background here. So even though I've now cut away my background, you'll notice that over here my teleporter doesn't highlight anymore. If you are playing in casual mode, that you can teleport out from anywhere. If you're playing in survival mode, you cannot. Oh, another bat. Alright, we are going to, so we can do some just looking at our inventory here. I'm going to slide over here, grab my sleeping bag. I use a sleeping bag because it makes my hunger not go down and it heals me. But we just got ourselves a new sword. So this is a two-handed sword. DPS of 11.1 compared to our 7.5. We've got a damage per swing of 9.4 versus 6. Rate of fire 1.2 versus 1.3, so they're about the same. And the special is Blink Explosion. So we are going to slot that in here and give it a try. Move our other sword over to 6. So we have it. And let's take a look at what this does. So that was Blink Explosion. So if I probably, I'm guessing, I'll see how much damage it does. That's not too bad. Got pretty much the same animation as my other one. Don't like the special as much. I prefer to have that spin, but this definitely is a stronger sword, so like he's gonna attack us. Trouble over here. Come and get it. You'll also notice that the numbers have changed color. If you look at this sword, you'll notice that it's got like the little ice snowflake. There's different damage types. There's fire base, there's poison base, there's cold base, which is what this one is. And that can actually help. Okay, tech card. That's another thing that's worth grabbing, in that it'll allow you to, once you get to the base, the space station, you'll actually be able to upgrade into some of your techs by using those tech cards. Alright, let's pick up our sleeping bag. And I think we've cleared this area out. Let's head back up. Now if we get deep enough here, we are going to get to the point where there is our first kind of, call it a boss encounter, which is actually right here. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can go about this. So that's Mama Pop Top. She's going to run over here, and you notice there's all kinds of babies here. I have found in general, if I just run down into there, it's going to get me killed. So we have to make a decision here. Do we want to run in there and hope for the best, or do we use the environment to the best of our ability? Another little interesting thing that they did here is if you drop down there, you can't get out without building something up, right? So it's almost a trap. So one way to deal with this is to give ourselves a safety spot. That boss is nice and big. Right? I didn't quite carve this out right. Alright, well, that was a failure. Now, if I would have been smart, I would have put my flag down first. You'll notice this flag is still there, but it doesn't get me there because I picked it up, so that cleared it out. Yeah, I was going over and trying to get to my heels and just didn't get there, so that's alright. I've messed up the building of my little safe space. But we can get back there quick. Nice part about this starter world is, like I said, it's designed to kind of teach you how to play the game. Alright, so let's be a little more careful this time. We're gonna... we'll dig ourselves a nice little escape hatch here. So now, I didn't quite carve myself out a big enough thing. Okay, so this has done two things. It's separated the babies from the mama, so I'm not fighting them all at once, which is definitely easier. You can see even then I took quite a bit of damage. Did I pick my heels back up? Yep. Grab those. Grab those. And the other thing that has done, then we can back up and get out of range. And this kind of is a way to manipulate the world. Now, I did mention last time that if you try to do this like in the dungeons, you can't build or delete blocks in dungeons, so you can't quite use this tactic. It's our spear. Of our spear. So you notice that she's taking some damage now. I'm kind of fighting on my terms. We've cleared off a lot of the additional ads. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and open those up. Pretty safe now. And now I've cleared off this boss, so you're gonna have to decide as far as playing if that is something that you are okay with, or if you think that's too cheaty. Kind of up to you. Get there. Headwear. Like glasses. It's just a cosmetic item, but put it on. There, do we look better or worse? About the same either way. Alright, so a couple of things have now happened. In collecting those last set of chests, you notice here that it says use the core fragments to activate the gate. We've actually met the... oh, did I get the one on the other side? Yep. So now what we have, just as a complete distraction and side note, is we have two decorative wooden supports. If we wanted to go back and make our house look nicer, we could. And I'm gonna go over here just because we haven't been over here. Looks like there's more items that we can get. Like I said, I get kind of distracted by going through all of the little chests, and it's for reasons like that, right? Like there's another matter manipulator, which gives me what, 7 already? Got one back in my chest at the house, that gives me 8. So I could actually upgrade my manipulator now if I wanted to. I believe the lowest speed upgrade, not the size upgrade, but the speed upgrade is... oh, this is a kind of a nice little bonus area. It's kind of enclosed in, but it's just full of crates. So now if I wanted to, these crates are all scavengeable. You can actually grab them if you want. You wanted to use them for storage. I'm not. I don't think we need that much storage, but take to your heart's content. For the most part, I've never found... Oh, look, a drum. Got another musical instrument. You don't have to keep those. Once you get them and they unlock in your collection, you can get rid of them if you want to. Alright. So let's get back to our base. One of the first things I like to get is sprint, if I can. Sprint is nice in that you can move through the world faster. I also like the triple jump. Triple jump is a nice tech upgrade. It's weird to go from playing a character that has all that to back to a starting character. You realize how much you actually miss it. Again, I didn't bother to actually go through and collect all my torches and stuff. I don't think it's needed. Not too expensive to craft. If you were running low on resources though, that is something that Alright, let's check. Our wheat has grown again. Doesn't look like anything. Leave my farming stuff here. Eat it. Doors in there. Those don't really fit really well in our house. Stick those. We're going to ditch our saplings, we'll ditch our lantern, keep our flag. Getting a bunch of stuff there. So what I normally do on my ship is I'll get myself a chest or something to store all my crafting materials, because eventually you need that stuff for other things. Doing pretty well on food. Don't see anything there. Okay. So if we look up here, it says use core fragments to activate the gate. This little arrow will give you the closest direction to go. In this case, to the left. As we looked at last time, the world does loop itself around, so you could technically go either way. So if you knew one way or the other was quicker or smoother, you didn't have to climb as much, you could do that. Go ahead and get some harvesting here and replant our wheat. So you notice another thing that I did here is wheat you have to replant. But on my tomatoes, I can just harvest them and the stalk stays there and it just regrows the food. That's kind of nice. If you were going to move your farm, you could go ahead and use your matter manipulator, take these and get the seeds back as well. So both can be done. I'm highlighting those by holding down the Alt key. I actually have it programmed to a mouse button so I can always check it. Yeah, it looks like we're doing pretty good on food. I think that one probably should still give us one, but alright, let's go ahead and cook our food up here. So we picked up also in the world, this is kind of nice. You'll see here I have raw steak. I come over here and look at it. Raw food will poison you, so you can't eat it for 10 food if you're desperate. But by cooking it, I get 20 food and don't get poisoned. Alright, our food situation is looking pretty good. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I walked away, it got done. Cook that as well. Now, food will spoil. So you'll notice that again, I've got a mod installed that gives me my spoil times. If you don't have that spoil time mod, it will tell you something like it's getting close to spoiling and stuff like that. You can prevent this if you craft or find a refrigerator. You can put your food in the refrigerator and it will keep. So that's a nice thing to do. Also, you notice in the world, it looks like we have got some new plant growth. So we'll go ahead and grab those. That would give us more seeds. So if my farm really wasn't producing enough, I could actually go through and make another run on the planet and get myself some more seeds. Or I could go to another planet once I get my ship, get more seeds. But one of our goals for this playthrough was to get through the starter planet. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Alright, let's see if the guy's gonna attack it. That was nice. It did 28 damage. Harder to hit that way, but definitely a good attack. Alright, so our goal is just to kind of get to the next stage here. We have done one complete lap of this planet, so theoretically we shouldn't have to make any huge like carvings or anything like that. Like make this. Yep. We have been through here once. Come on. This guy's a pain because he splits. Oh, he fell through. We're okay with that. Also, you'll notice through adventuring, I've collected quite a few healing potions. Again, cleaning out those crates is nice. Didn't go as well as I wanted it to. All those guys down here. That seems like a jump I should make. How did I get through here before? Alright, well, time to do some building. Ever get stuck? Just make yourself ground. There we go. Okay, this is something I do sometimes. You notice I just clicked on this out of the world. It's still attached to my cursor. If I tried to hit this guy, I can't actually fight. I gotta drop that block before I can fight. That can be frustrating if you're in a tight situation and you're like, why am I not attacking? And it's because you're holding something in your hand. Alright, keep running, keep running. Try to avoid these guys. There we go. This is what we're looking for. Go ahead and fight these guys. Not be bothered. Okay. So you see this little blue thing? That's alright, so we need 20 core fragments. We have picked up 35. Again, an alternate way to do this, if you don't want to go through that little dungeon area, is just dig down deeper into the planet and you can collect them. You can harvest them like you do coal and iron and things like that. Alright, we successfully activated the gate. Another message is coming through. Please come, I urgently require help. The universe depends on it. Use the ancient gateway to meet me in the Ark ruins just past the outpost. So this kind of concludes the starter planet, right? So as we enter here, we're going to teleport through. And we will get ourselves to the outpost. Working on a video to actually show all the hidden things in the outpost. There are some secret areas you can get yourselves to. But the outpost is nice in that this is kind of your first little area of civilization, right? So I've been collecting this stuff. Like I've got these weapons that I'm not going to use. So now if I want to, I can click over here to sell. I can say I don't want that, don't need that. Could sell my drum. Now something I want you to notice. Look at this. Here my drum says it's worth 3,000, but you don't get that full price if you actually sell it. So, leave that. Don't care for that. Sell my oboe. Sell those. Didn't really care for that spear. These are nice. There are guns and different things in the game. As I mentioned before, if you keep your broken sword, there are some things you can do with it at the end of the game. We won't ruin it any more than that. We'll keep our flower just because we want that. Not going to use that anymore. I don't like the bombs so much, so I'm not going to use that. So you'll notice that before here I had 1100. This is up to 2300 worth of sellable stuff. If I want to sell some of these items, I could. A lot of these are also used in crafting, so I'll keep a hold of those. Blocks are worthless. You can't just go out and harvest dirt and sell dirt. That would be a bit of a hack. But if you want to build stuff, you could, right? So loot as much as you want, but if I click on sell, I now have plenty of money. So now if I wanted to buy food, I could, if I didn't want to actually harvest food. So there's some canned food at 200 a piece. Chocolate is a pretty decent food at 15 food, but you can see this gets pretty expensive. If memory is right, I think chocolate actually stacks. I can't remember though, I might be wrong there. You can get yourself some raw bacon and cook it. That's really nice. I'd have to look up the recipe, but we have these cocoa pods as well that you can craft chocolate. I just don't remember which thing you need to do. Notice that if I try to like cut a hole in the background, that these like blue squares show up. This is how the dungeons work, right? There are areas that you will not be able to use the cutting and the manipulation of the world this way. So it is good to learn how to fight. Alright, that's a seed. Seed. Eat some of our cooked food. Cooked tomato. Then we'll need to cook up some of our raw food. Must be a seed. Cooking ingredients. Save our canned. So for me personally, I do like to keep a hold of this canned food just because it has so much food. It's 50 food. You'll also notice that the spoil time on it is like 27 hours. It's like my emergency backup food in case everything goes really, really horribly. Alright, so you can see this is civilization. This is the tech guy. You run some missions for him and you can get some of your techs. You have to get some bars. If you're playing through your first time, there's a mission up here from this bear to go find a teddy bear. There's things here to kind of fix up your ship. But where we want to get to, and was our goal for this stream, 5 minutes left. Beaten the game on this account. So some of this stuff that you're seeing here won't be here when you first start to play. But once you've played through it once, a lot of this stuff stays. So that's something to keep in mind. Hello, dear. Is that a mad manipulator you're carrying? Excellent. You're a protector. I'm sorry to say, perhaps the last after the terrible destruction of Earth. It's sadly inevitable that we should meet now. My name is Esther Bright, retired Grand Protector. I left some years ago, an impossible decision, but my research could not be neglected. I discovered things long forgotten that weigh heavy on the present. Dramatic music. Long ago, there was a force known as the Cultivator. It maintained balance in the universe. Under its influence, harmony reigned, so it was for eons. But this tranquility proved finite. A being arose, one of hate and destruction. It was the Ruin. Ruin could not abide life in any form and reaped destruction upon the universe. It fought to blot out all life and would have succeeded but for the sacrifice of the Cultivator. Cultivator rose against the Ruin and succeeded in sealing it away. But in doing so, the Cultivator exhausted its power completely. Before its last energies dissipated, the Cultivator gifted 6 chosen races with precious artifacts. These 6 artifacts, when united, form the key that opens the gate to the ruin. Should I have said spoiler? The defenses are crumbling. We must unite the artifacts, reach the ruin, and truly destroy it. This is a lot to take in, dear, and a huge request to make of you, but I would like your help. The artifacts are scattered across the stars. I can't find them alone. We must find them and eradicate the ruin before other planets go the way of Earth. Don't think I can skip that, so I would have skipped it if I could have. Alright, so find the source of mysterious messages. We have completed that. Got our first reward bag. And it looks like we have to fix our ship. So a reward bag is just this little thing. It makes a lovely little horn sound. Oh, so happy. And it gave me a tech card. So those are just random. Is that causing issues? Alright. So, that is our survival mode startup. We were pretty cautious in that we just kind of went through, created ourselves a farm. There was one more thing that I wanted to do. Let's see if we can get this done. Got 1 minute left. So here's our next mission, and that's to fix our ship. No, okay. Takes 20 Ethers crystals. So this is the first dungeon that you run through. That's beyond the scope of tonight's. It's still locked out until we fix our ship. Yeah. Let's see, will allow us to... Okay. We can't actually do it now, but so we've set this farm up, right, on this little planet. And eventually we'll be able to open up this navigational map, and it will show the planets and stuff here. One of the things that you can do is you can set a bookmark for this planet. So if you wanted to leave this farm here, you could actually always just fly back to this planet, harvest the stuff, and leave. You could make the farm bigger, or you could go down and, you know, clean up all the stuff on the planet and take it to your next planet. Eventually you'll be able to expand your ship as well. Your ship will get bigger. So what I've done is I've actually brought dirt up and actually built the farm up on my ship so that it's always there for me. So that would probably be my next step. I can't really do much until we go to this first dungeon, because until you fix your ship you can't really go anywhere but your starter planet and the outpost. So you're kind of stuck as far as moving forward. But that's kind of a good spot to kind of call it, I think, for this evening. So in the last 2 streams we've gone through kind of everything you need to do to get yourselves self-sufficient. We found food. We've been able to craft light, which is our torches. We have our flashlight. We've got ourselves some weapons. And then we were able to kind of create a base of operations. The other thing that you could do is go down to the planet and get all those crafting stations and put them up here, because your ship kind of becomes your centralized hub. So thanks for tuning in this weekend. Hopefully we're looking to produce a couple of Starbound videos, start our Starbound series of information. I've got 4 or 5 in the works that are all kind of coming together, so we just have to finish the recording on those. So as always, you know, if you like what you see, please hit subscribe. We are on our push to 100, trying to get our custom URL. Share with your friends, and, you know, tell people about us and help us grow the channel. Thanks, Whittister. Was Sith in tonight? I don't think I saw him type. Guys are always good to have you in the stream. I may be running, for those of you that are interested in Star Wars Old Republic content, we're probably going to try to jump up and do a 8-man or 16-man hard mode Isaacs tonight, if everything kind of falls together. So I will probably cut a highlight reel together of that, So maybe that'll upload this weekend as well. Depends on how much we fail and how much we succeed. So I'm going to record a bunch of our runs, and if we just die a bunch of times, I may not upload it. We'll see. But as always, it's been great. Been a lot of fun playing Starbound. Look for some new Starbound content to hit this weekend. Join us on our Discord server. There's a channel up there for video requests. If you've got certain features that you'd like to see, please let us know. Or if there's something you'd like to see in Starbound that you're having trouble with or like a guide on, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. We'd be happy to try to build stuff that the community needs. Right now we're just kind of guessing based off of our own experiences. Thanks for joining. Thanks Whittaster. Thanks Sith. Thank you everybody. And we will see you next time.